with any permits for auto rickshaws running on cleaner fuel. And one company which couldn't be happier is Bajaj Auto, which has an 86% market share in the CNG auto market. Joining us now on the phone line to talk about the potential uptick in sales is Rakesh Sharma, President of International Business at Bajaj Auto. Rakesh, good having you. Thanks so much for joining in. Now, when we scan the analyst notes in the morning, they seem to suggest that when a similar move happened in the state of Maharashtra 12 months back, volumes for you as a company jumped up about 6x. While all over India might be difficult to gauge whether the uptick could be 6x or no, but do you expect a potential high jump in sales if this were to turn out to be true sooner rather than later?
Hi, good morning. First of all, we are really delighted that the government has given out this policy guidance, which intensifies the drive for pollution-free cities, and therefore it's a big tick for cleaner fuels. And of course, it's delightful for a company like ours, which has got a substantial share in the cleaner fuel passenger category. Now, one important thing to understand is that this is a guidance. Mr. Gadkari and the Ministry of Transport had constituted a committee, I think about 18 months ago, which comprised of lots of several state transport ministers, and they had recommended this announcement, which Mr. Gadkari has made at the convention yesterday. So basically, it is an advisory to all the states. This is within the jurisdiction of the state authorities, actually, but the center has unequivocally and very firmly given out a call based on the recommendations of the state ministers themselves, that the states must make a firm move towards pollution-free cities and adopt cleaner fuel. However, the actual adoption will be only once the state authorities agree and comply with this guidance. So we are going to be waiting to see how this policy is adopted state by state. We are very positive that it's a positive move. It's a wholesome move. So the state authorities will adopt it. There is no reason for them not to adopt it, but the process has to be gone through. In anticipation of the uptick, our capacity was already very stretched, and this was the proverbial last straw or trigger for us to undertake capacity expansion. We have, like you said, a very, very high market share in alternate fuels. So therefore, whatever uptick happens, we are assuming that we will stand to gain a lot from that. So in anticipation of all that, we are now taking the firm steps to increase our capacity. But at this stage, exactly how much can we take the Bombay number and, apply it all over the country or some modicum of it? I would like to hazard that. We have to see in the next few weeks how the state authorities respond to it.
Right. Mr. Sharma, good morning. Devina here. Just want to get to know from within the industry, within your channel checks, how likely and what's the timeline that you feel that the state governments will actually step in and put this into practice?
Yeah, that's a very difficult one to answer. But given the firmness and the positive announcements which have been made, and you see, it is actually a very right move. It is a very positive thing for our cities. There is the burgeoning demand of first mile and last mile transport, which the public infrastructure is not able to keep pace with. Responsible and organized private partnerships are needed to address this. The state governments are seeing that. The authorities are seeing that. At the same time, we have to be very wary of the environmental burden this is going to impose. The state authorities are conscious of that. And I think the tailwinds are there. But still, there are many bureaucratic steps. There's the transport authorities, there is the police, etc., who have to take all the factors into account and go through the process. So it's very difficult. And each state has its own sort of method of approaching this issue. So it will be a while before the dust settles and we can really gauge exactly what kind of increase there will be. Increase there will be, that we are very sure. And that's why we said that, a capacity which is already stretched for us, this is the time to, be ahead of the curve and put in, expand demand, expand capacity.
Rakesh, when you say a while, you expect 6 months at least before this is put into place?
I would say that, yeah. We have to understand that the committee which actually recommended this to the ministry comprised of several state transport ministers. So they're, in a way, party to this recommendation. So therefore, we feel that there will be some states which will adopt this faster, and there will be some which will be slower. But I think, yes, between 3 to 6 months is the time when, we will start to see definitive results.
Okay. Just one final question.
Like anybody's guess. That's what we are hoping for.
Anybody's guess. Just one last question. Let's work with an assumption that FY20 is 1 full year of sales. Yeah. Let's not give 6 months. Let's give this 9-month time by when your capacities would be up and about as well, presumably, to take advantage of this. Is this a higher margin profile product? What's the typical margins that you enjoy here? And at full capacity, if you indeed expect to run at full capacity when it opens up across the country, how much uptake does it give you to sales?
Well, I will only say that it is indeed a higher margin category and a higher margin product for us without going into specific numbers. We have been having a wonderful growth run. You know that our year-to-date growth is almost 50% in this category, the passenger RE passenger category. We don't expect this other things remaining the same to continue at the same level, but similar levels, I would say. Now, on a full year basis, once all of this kicks in, obviously, we should be doing a bit higher than this. Now, it's very difficult to hazard a number, but because, 45-50% is even now a very, very substantive growth rate. But I think it will be at least, double-digit points more than that. I would just leave it at that and see how things settle down.
Currently, sir, your production capacity for three-wheelers is, I believe, about 7.8 lakhs. When you're saying you were looking to expand capacity, what extent do you want to ramp that up to?
We're targeting 1 million.
Okay.
So, that would be almost by 25-30%.
Okay, got that, sir. Thanks very much, Mr. Rakesh Sharma. Really appreciate you joining in and sharing your thoughts with us.